What is going on YouTube? It's Kay here, coming at you with a very long overdue video, and I'm gonna start it off by apologizing for the fact that it's overdue. I really wanted to put out a video for you guys on Friday, but I got really sidetracked pretty much by the announcement that Tom Clancy's The Division beta was gonna come out for PS4 for those who did not pre-order the game. I know I missed my opportunity a couple of weeks ago when the beta came out for those who pre-ordered it, and then they announced that the open beta was happening this weekend. So from Friday to Saturday, this is the game that I played non-stop. I think I put an amazing over like 30 hours into this game, if not more. I can't even tell, but it was from sun up to sundown and way past and way before. I was just too hooked in this game, and I wanted to bring you guys a video of my first impressions of the beta hands-on once I actually took the controller myself and played it, because I know I've watched a couple of videos on it and I knew from the get-go that I was going to buy this game. But I never thought that I would actually play it before the initial release, but here it is. I had 3 whole days non-stop with this game, and I wanted to give you guys the best first impressions that I can possibly give you. I wanted to go really all out in this video. I know it's one of my lengthier ones, so if you guys can stick it out to the end, hopefully I'll convince some of you that are on the fence about this game to maybe go ahead and purchase it. I mean, I really had a lot of fun, and it was just the beta, and I see a lot of great potential in this game. So we're actually going to cover a few topics, such as the entire premise of the game, pretty much just the intro, the skills, the character creation, of course the dark zone, all of that. We're going to hit a lot of bases throughout this video, so I hope you guys can stick it out with me. And so the whole premise behind The Division is that you are a secret government sleeper agent that has just been activated in the wake of a biological attack on the United States, which has pretty much thrown the entire city of New York into disarray and chaos, and your job is to pick up the pieces and try to put it all back together, put the government back together, put civilization as you know it back together, because this area is just a war zone and it's all falling on your shoulders. Of course, your government agent is not ill-prepared for this task. You do have a special set of abilities ranging from 3 different skill trees that you can upgrade to gain access to these special attacks and battle enhancements to really give you an upper hand in the field, such as the Pulse, which allows you to pretty much see enemies through walls if they're near you. You also have a Sticky Grenade, a Riot Shield, a Healing Factor, and a Sentry Gun, and that's only what's available in the beta. There is so much more that is for the full game, along with mods and talents and everything, so everything you do can be upgraded upon it to make you even more powerful. And though the game does not have a traditional tutorial per se, it does have this really good informational video right in the beginning of the game, which shows you how to use your skills and weapons and everything like that. So it doesn't just leave you hanging. You pretty much have a basis on how to play the game pretty much right from the beginning. One of the really cool things about this game for me was the map and how easy it was to use. It doesn't stop the action or anything. It pretty much just brings the action outside around you, and it allows you to see the entire city, where you are, all the missions and everything. It just generally looked cool. It was a new take on what a map is. It was a fresh idea, and I really enjoyed it. It looked really nice. And then getting into the character creation screen, in the beta not all of the options were unlocked, and you couldn't even really make your character's face. You can only hit the randomize button and it'll just scroll through some randomly made presets with different hairs, different facial hair, and a couple of different face styles, but you can pretty much tell that not all of it was there. There were only like 2 or 3 beards, a couple of hairstyles, and like 3 different faces that you can choose from, or 4 I believe. So it wasn't all there, but you can see at the top, you know, you can change how your basic face looks, then your hair, you have markings on your face, I'm pretty sure, such as scars or tattoos, accessories like sunglasses, maybe earrings and such like that, and of course male or female. And I believe that it's gonna be pretty, comprehensive and in-depth and everything. Once the full game comes out, you'll really be able to make your character your character will be unique, and he will pretty much just mirror whatever you want him to. And then of course, one of the first things you do when you come into the game is complete the first mission to, get to your base of operations. And this is going to be the place that you are pretty much spending the entire game in trying to build. This is going to be your medical lab, your technology research center, your security base of operations where you have your soldiers and everything. So this is pretty much your central hub for everything that you do in the game. Here's where you're gonna have new missions appear, where important, significant story characters are going to live, and also hand you missions and other stuff for you to do. You have a large number of vendors to the side selling you things like weapons, weapon mods, even some gear and everything. And in the beta, the gear and the weapons and everything that they gave you were of course very low level and such, because you were only level 4 through 8. I think 8 was the highest that you can reach in the beta, and so there wasn't a lot of stuff that they were selling. But I'm guessing in the full game, the higher you level up, the better the gear gets in your base of operations. So of course that's always useful to look for. You can also use your base of operations to upgrade your skill trees, like medical and technology and security, to get you new skills and stuff for you to use in the field. And of course, like any other RPG, the more enemies that you eliminate, the more gear and loot that you collect from them. There is a large number of different variety types of weapons in this game, ranging from assault rifles, submachine guns, sniper rifles, marksman rifles, shotguns, and light machine guns. And then you have your pistols as well. Maybe there's more in the full game, I'm not sure, but that's all that there is for now. And each and every weapon will also have different mod slots, things such as sights, which allow you to, it also enhances a lot of things about your gun, such as some sights would increase your optimal range or your accuracy. Of course, you have magazines that increase your magazine capacity and sometimes even fire rate. You have red laser sights, and you also have front handle grips for your weapons and such. You can even have suppressors to pretty much minimize your exposure when shooting at enemies. They'll be less likely to target you and everything. And so everything is also based on a green to yellow system. Of course, there is a level of rarity to the weapons, green being the lowest, or actually gray being the lowest, that's unranked. Then it's green, blue, purple, and yellow, and those are all the rarities for the items. You also have appearance items, which will not boost or change your stats in any way. They will only alter your outside appearance, such as pants and such, hats, coats, sweaters, vests, and boots, just to pretty much make your character once again unique and more suited to however you want to play it. And now, moving away from the weapons and items and such, I really want to talk about the weather in the Division and the graphics, the things that you can see. I have not seen a weather system be so realistically made such as this game. And now, don't get me wrong, there are way better games out there. You can pretty much guess Grand Theft Auto 5 for one, that has amazing rain. It looks beautiful when it rains in GTA, but I don't think any game really does snow as good as the Division does it. When you get hit with those big blizzards and your visibility is reduced by almost 70%, you can barely see a few feet in front of you, then you're gonna really get into those tense moments, such as here, where you see that there are enemies in front of you and you can barely make them out. It is really an intense, and it looks beautiful. The lighting also affects it and everything. And when you are walking down a street and the sunrise is in front of the camera, and you can pretty much see all the nitpicky details that developers went through and everything to make this game look aesthetically pleasing, you'll really gain an appreciation for how well this game really looks. You can tell that it was under a lot of polish, and I know that everybody was hating on this game for a while, saying that there was a graphic reduction, that the game didn't look anything like the E3 trailers, but honestly, you don't notice it as much. You don't really it's not game breaking. The game still looks and plays amazing, and you can barely even tell that there was any graphic reduction to begin with. And now to talk about the combat and the AI. At its core, The Division is an RPG, even though it does play, look, and feel like a third-person shooter. At its heart, it's still an RPG, and you can pretty much tell by the types of enemies there are. There are enemies that are stronger than the others. You know, you'll have your red health bar enemies, then your purple health bar enemies, and then your yellows, which are the strongest that I have found. And so that's an RPG element right there. Also, with the amount of damage that you do to them, your damage is number based. Enemies will have X amount of health, and your bullets only take away about 5% of that health each bullet and such. So it takes away to whittle down their health, of course, and that's another RPG element. I know a lot of people hate on this game for the fact that, you know, you're shooting people with bullets. Why does it take so long to kill? They have to remember that it is an RPG, and I think their basis for that is that it is Tom Clancy, and they expect ultra realistic gameplay from this, mostly because of Rainbow Six Siege, and of course, but you have to remember you are playing an RPG, not a third-person shooter, where headshots, even though they will do extra damage, it will not be a one-shot kill. And then of course, practically what almost all of you really came here to see and learn about is the Dark Zone. There is nothing more tense than trying to start an extraction in the Dark Zone, only to be surrounded by players and then a firefight ensues. So the Dark Zone is a PvP area. It's the only area in the Division where you are allowed to PvP, and really everybody is a threat. Even you can be a threat to your own group if you decide to backstab them like that. So in the Dark Zone, it is the place where you are going to find the best gear, the best loot, and the best weapons. It has the highest amount of blues, of course, and there are even vendors at each of the entrances into the Dark Zone that will sell you higher gear and higher weapons, such as purples, for Dark Zone currency. And the way that you collect Dark Zone currency is by pretty much just doing things in the Dark Zone, such as killing enemies, extracting items, and killing rogues. Now, killing rogues is the fastest way to actually level up in the Dark Zone and make the best money, and I'm going to tell you why. When you die in the Dark Zone, you actually lose all of the items that you are carrying. You're only allowed to carry 6 items at a time from the Dark Zone, so if you die at any time, you will lose all of those 6 items, along with usually around 100 to 200 of the Dark Zone currency. However, if you go rogue, and by going rogue I mean you shoot other players, other Division, agency, soldiers that are in the Dark Zone as well, you and anybody else in your group that is in the immediate vicinity will be, you will turn as a rogue. And what that does is pretty much alert any other player in the vicinity that you have gone rogue, and practically inviting them to come and kill you without a penalty on them. So going rogue does have a great, it is a high risk, high reward type of way to play the game. If you see somebody that is gonna pick up loot that you want, you can go ahead, take the risk, and kill them to take the loot. However, you will go rogue for somewhere about a minute or so, and thus alert everyone in the vicinity to come and kill you and take that loot from you. And there is really not a lot of people that went rogue in the beta the first 2 days. However, in the last day, everybody just went crazy, and it was the last day of the beta, so everybody wanted to feel like to know what it feels like to just go around and kill other players and such, and that's understandable. However, you do not want to go rogue in the Dark Zone, because instead of losing 100 or 200 of the Dark Zone currency, you're going to lose amount that is proportional to your rogue status. You can go up to rogue 5, which then you become a manhunt target, so anyone who kills you will get a ridiculously large amount of your experience and money. Sometimes I even lost up to 2 grand at a time. It is ridiculous. So I don't recommend going rogue in the Dark Zone unless you have a really good group or a really good hiding spot like these guys up here. This is really one of the favorite places to hide in the Dark Zone. You need to pretty much just barricade yourselves and hold down an alley with a dead end, and pretty much just make sure you get overrun. Unfortunately for these guys, they didn't do that good of a job, so we murdered them, took their things, and it was all good. And so that is actually the fastest way to level up in the Dark Zone, is to kill rogues and avoid going rogues at all possible times. You just don't want to do it unless you're just doing it for fun. However, if you decide to go rogue, even if you get all the way to manhunt status, there is a timer that you have to wait for it to count down before your group is no longer considered rogue. It can be anywhere between 1 minute to 5 minutes. Pretty much it's proportional to the amount of other division players that you kill while in the Dark Zone. If you kill 1, you'll gain a rank up to where you kill 5 and then you're rank 5. And so if you actually take any damage while this counter is active, it won't count down. If you go about 5 seconds without damage, it'll start counting down again. And if you make it to actually survive the entire time while rogue, you also get a pretty hefty XP and money bonus for surviving the rogue status. So that is an incentive to go rogue. However, at this point of the game, it is more beneficial to not go rogue at all, as there is a higher penalty for being rogue than there is for surviving rogue. So you really just want to avoid that. And honestly guys, I could have gone a lot more in depth in this video, I know, but I really didn't want this video to turn into a monster 25 or 30 minute video. I wanted to pretty much just touch on the basics with you guys of the game and let you know just how much I really enjoyed it, how much, if I can get any of you guys to play it as well. You're always open to send me an invite on PSN and everything, and I will play with you if you don't have any other friends that are getting this game and such. I will be on this game a lot. I'm also hoping to make more videos about the Division, awesome loot locations and such. And really, yeah, that's it. If you guys actually made it through this monster of a 16-minute video, or 17, I know it may have gotten dull sometimes, or if you guys already knew this information, but if you made it to the end right here, go ahead and leave a 305 in the comment sections, just so I know, and let me know what you guys think about this game, and I'll actually see you guys on my next video. Peace.
You crazy mother.